Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Totally Myself. I'm your host, Monica, and today we're going to be talking about narcissism in men and narcissistic abuse. I don't know really if this is my favorite topic, but I had quite a few requests from some of you, so I was like, okay, why not? Since I also have a lot of experience with this topic. So what can I say is that I think I will hang up on this episode. I just don't like remembering about my ex. Not because I suffer. It was just like a dewy experience. Very many lessons though, but I'm just saying like I don't hate him or anything like that. But I'm more like Cardi B in this episode, like go to hell. Go to hell. No, definitely lesson that I had to learn. But I definitely wouldn't go through it again. So let's be honest. Narcissistic abuse, it's not fun. And I want to focus more onto narcissism in men. Because apparently a lot of you girls, my listeners, have been complaining about this topic. And I also got a request from one regarding this episode specifically. And the interesting part is that she really wanted to share her story about her experience with narcissistic men. And as much as I love all of you, I decided to really publish this. And she really gave me the story. She wrote it down and she sent it to me. So I'm going to start this episode with sharing her story because I think it's probably going to resonate with a lot of you girls. So her story starts like this. I don't even know how could I start sharing such a deeply personal story about my experience in a relationship with someone who turned out to be a narcissist. This journey was filled with love, manipulation, and ultimately self-discovery. So she says, grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Let's dive in. It all started with Sam. When I first met him, it was like I've just met my best friend. He was charming, captivating, and made me feel like I was the center of his universe. We had late night conversations that felt like magic, and I was completely swept off my feet. I thought I had found my soulmate, but little did I know. This was just the beginning of a very complicated journey. As the months went by, I began to notice a shift. What felt like love slowly morphed into something else. Sam's compliments turned into criticism. Instead of uplifting me, his words started to weight me down, sounding like, "You really think you should wear that?" he would ask, making me second-guess my choices. Wow, Sam sounds a lot like my ex, I swear. This guy was making her second-guessing herself. Like, this is the first red flag. This is the first red flag. Girls, if this happens, run away. Don't ask. Just run away. So she continues. I convinced myself he only wanted what was best for me, but inside I felt the pressure building up. Sam often played the victim, portraying himself as misunderstood while subtly undermining my confidence. Oh my God, I swear, I feel like all the guys that are narcissistic, they secretly hate other people that are confident. Why am I saying this? Because my ex literally secretly hated my confidence. And I have so many facts about it. Every time when I was somehow happy or I would be able to enjoy small things that he just couldn't enjoy because everything was revolving around his image. So definitely he could not enjoy external small little events. He would turn into like a monster, into like a dragoon that would try to burn all those little things that I was enjoying. Like, for example, if I would find a new coffee recipe or something that I liked and I was enjoying like a nice frappe or whatever, he would say, "Do you really like it? Like, it's just a coffee." And this is just a small example. Just like this girl that shared her story, if I would feel very confident about an outfit or something, the compliment wouldn't come from him first, and he would see that I was confident about wearing it. He would react just like Sam. He would be like, are you sure this fits the place where we're going? He was trying to give me subliminal signs, like to try to put in my head that maybe my outfit doesn't fit the place we're going, to make me double check or like second guess myself and like check the place if it's like the vibe with my outfit, which it was, but he just wanted me to like not feel good in that moment. So I really do understand this girl. I'm really sorry that she went through this. I'm really sorry if you hear this. You know already, we talked about it. My dear, I'm going to continue with your story. So Sam often played the victim, portraying himself as misunderstood while undermining her confidence. He compared me to his mother, constantly pointing out how her body was better than mine. Wow, that's disgusting. Look at my mom. Her ass is bigger and nicer than yours, he would say, making me feel inadequate and self-conscious about my own body. Oh my God. Sam isn't just a narcissist. Sam is an asshole as well. How dare he compare this girl with his mom? Like, I don't understand this lack of sensitivity, first of all. And second of all, why would you be obsessed with your mom's ass? This is kind of weird. The fact that he was making this girl feel inadequate about her body, it's such a low level. Continuing, she's saying that he left her questioning her self-worth and feeling like she was never enough. I really get this. That's exactly how I was feeling in my last relationship with my ex. I was always feeling like I was never good enough because of his little mean comments. May you rest in peace if you died. If you didn't, then I wish you a long life so that you get everything that you deserve. Yeah, I'm saying no hate. It's just a joke, I really don't hate him. Anyways, continuing with her story. And then came the betrayal. After a year of ups and downs, I discovered messages on Sam's phone that shattered my world. He had been cheating. When I confronted him, I was met with cold deflection. It's your fault, he said. If you had been more supportive, I wouldn't have needed to go elsewhere. I am speechless. I am speechless. This guy has been cheating on her for a while, and when she discovered it and confronted him about it, he blamed her for it. This is absolutely insane. Who would do that? Only a douchebag. And I say this because that's exactly what happened with my ex. When I discovered that he was using Snapchat, I wasn't a Snapchat user, okay? Because I'm not a teenager anymore, and he wasn't either. So I never checked his Snapchat to see what's in there. But one day I decided to because, I don't know, he just felt kind of distant. Our intimacy was not so intimate anymore. So there were signs. So I went through his phone, through his Snapchat, and I found things that also shattered my world, okay? The guy was sexting other women, not just messages, simple messages. No, he was sexting other women with pictures. And you know what sexting is. Every girl knows what sexting is because there probably had been at least one guy in this lifetime that tried to do that to you. And when I found those, I had to stay silent for a week or two. I don't know how I managed to do that. Because I just could not comprehend what was happening. And when I finally got the courage to confront him about it, he said the same thing like Sam. He was like, no, I do this because you don't do this with me. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, yeah, you are not sex texting me, or you're not sending me those hot pictures like you used to. And I was like, and instead of you asking me for those things or stuff, you decided to live a double life and experience that with other strange women. How do you even consider this something intimate if you do it with strangers? So he kept blaming me, and I broke up with him, of course. And also, of course, I didn't stay far from him for too long, because when he came back with a stupid excuse after a week that I broke up with him, me, as a girl that was emotionally abused by him, of course, I went back to him, which is incredible. But anyways, leaving my story aside for a second, I'm gonna continue with hers, where the part that he blamed her for everything, which is crazy. So she says, those words twisted the knife deeper, making me feel like I was the problem. I felt that. In the aftermath, I spiraled into a dark place. I felt lost and confused, overwhelmed by self-doubt. I found myself altering my behavior to avoid triggering his anger becoming overly cautious and anxious. I was walking on eggshells around him, scared to say or do anything that might provoke his aggressive behavior, whether verbally or physically. So this guy also abused her physically. And in here, I want to add that no matter what, how hard it might be, if you go through that, if any of you that are listening are going through that, I advise you to talk to someone about it. Because I know it is really hard to break up with the person, even in the moment when you might get physically abused, because I've also been there. So I'm not trying to be radical and be like, break up with him immediately, because I know what it means to be emotionally bounded to an emotional abuser, especially a narcissistic one. So my advice is to really try to talk to someone about it. If you're being emotionally abused, if you're being physically abused especially, you need to talk to someone about it, because the moment you do, the problem becomes real, you know? Because in our heads, we keep trying to find excuses for them. We keep trying to cover this behavior because they are so good at manipulating us that they do end up making us believe that it's our fault. It is not your fault for being emotionally abused. It is not your fault for being physically abused. This is not normal, and you should not allow that to happen to you. And if you cannot stop it, please take my advice, talk to someone about it. If you don't have a support system or a close circle or like even a friend to talk with, you can always DM me. Like, I'm not a stranger to you if you're listening to my podcast. I also had shared my life experiences here. So it's no shame to talk about painful situations that you go through. It's normal. We are human beings. And especially in the moment that you go through this like physical or emotional abuse, you do need to talk with someone. No matter what, it is very important for you to do that. So continuing, Sam's manipulation was relentless. He always made me feel guilty about his actions, insisting they were my fault. I often found myself apologizing just to diffuse the tension between us. Even when I hadn't done anything wrong, I didn't realize it at that time. But Sam lacked emotional intelligence. Yes, of course he did. Narcissistic people do lack emotional intelligence because they're almost like psychopaths, you know? They don't have sympathy. They are not empathizing with anyone's feelings. Anyway, continuing. He couldn't empathize with my feelings, which only deepened my sense of isolation. During small arguments, he would often reach for his phone and call his mother, seeking her validation over my feelings. Telling her, "Mom, you wouldn't believe what she said," he would say, portraying me as the villain. Oh my God, he called his mom. If I'm with the guy and he calls his mom to tell her about something that I said just because he cannot deal with it, probably the truth, I'm pretty sure that the girl said something real, it means that he called his mom to get a reassurance that whatever she said to him was not true. Why? Because probably it was, and he was a mommy's boy. If he was calling her in the middle of an argument, this is such a boy behavior. I cannot. I'm glad you got rid of Sam, girl. But yeah, if my guy calls his mom mid-argument to do something like that, I'm going to send him to his mom with everything that he has. Or better said, what he doesn't have, because he clearly needs her to back him up or something. This is so embarrassing, Sam. I hope you hear this, actually. And continuing, she's saying that she would always come to his defense, of course, insisting I was being difficult. It felt like I was fighting a battle on two fronts against Sam and his mother, who protected him at every turn. Yes, that's exactly what was happening there. And you know what this is actually called? It's a manipulation technique. It's called triangulation. So when someone feels like they're in the wrong side, that they are wrong about something, and they are including another person in an argument that they have with you, it's called triangulation. Why? Because they're bringing someone else in the conversation to back them up, just like she says. And when two people are there against you, it kind of makes you feel like you need to shut up. But if this is ever going to happen to you, please don't shut up and put them both down. Like, just because someone brings someone else into a conversation where they're clearly wrong, doesn't mean you need to change your narrative. Not at all. Keep it strong, girl. So continuing with her writing. It took me years to recover from this toxic relationship. Even now, I'm still on the journey of rebuilding myself piece by piece. There are days when the shadows of my past creep back in, reminding me of the pain I endured. But through therapy and support from my friends and family, I'm learning to reclaim my voice and my worth. Finding the courage to leave Sam was a pivotal moment in my life. It was not just a physical departure, but an emotional liberation. I learned to set boundaries and prioritize my well-being. Slowly, I began to rebuild my confidence, rediscovering the person I had lost along the way. This is so beautifully said. If you've been through narcissistic abuse, you probably relate. I do relate with this a lot. It took me a long time to rebuild my confidence. And the most important part, which I find so beautiful that she described, because I really been through this, was rediscovering the person I had lost along the way. And I have to mention that probably 50% of the reason that I made this podcast in the first place was right after my breakup. It was because I was really trying to rediscover the person that I was and to stay firm into my authenticity and never lose that again. That's why the name of the podcast is called Totally Myself. And I have to mention that this was not something that I did to prove him anything, because the moment it was over, the last time, I had firmly decided to choose myself forever and never look back. So I didn't do this to attract his attention or anything like that. I did this as a movement for myself, and I did this because I realized how important it is for us women to do that, because a lot of us are probably experiencing abusive partners in their relationships. And it doesn't necessarily have to be physically abusive. Emotional abuse is just as bad as physical abuse. So like I said, it took me months to rebuild my confidence. And it also took me a while to stop doing things to make him see that my life is better without him. It was also like a huge milestone for me to realize that the only person I had to convince of that and the only person that has to believe that was myself. So when he came back after 2 months that we broke up last time, and he was trying, and I felt like the universe was testing me. Why? Because it was literally one day before I was about to release the podcast for the first time. So definitely God, the universe, was testing me. It was like, are you still stupid? Are you still stupid? And I was like, I know what this is. I was like, I know what this is, and I am not gonna fall into it. And I told myself, if I'm gonna fall into it and I'm gonna give this guy a chance, I will not allow myself to release this podcast, because then it would be almost like I'm contradicting all of my beliefs and almost like I'm abandoning myself again and again. My goals for what? For a guy? For a guy that could not even see my self-worth before. If a man cannot see your self-worth once or twice, forget about the twice. If you cannot see your self-worth once, he will never become better at it. No matter what. It's just gonna catch you in this loophole of you trying to prove to him your self-worth. Falling into this gap of actually ending up not believing in your self-worth anymore and having to keep proving things to him and for him to agree so that you actually believe in your worth and that you actually feel worthy of whatever you try to feel worthy. And it is absolutely not worth it. Not worth it. The reason that made me so self-aware after my breakup was my authenticity. When you are in a relationship with a narcissistic man, they will try to diminish your authenticity because your authenticity irritates them. Narcissistic people cannot be authentic. You understand? Narcissistic people just love themselves, so they would go above and beyond to convince everyone that they're awesome, that they're perfect and that everything else that's contradicting that it's wrong. So they are not authentic. And this is going to be the first sign actually. Why? Because usually narcissistic people words don't match their actions. So I don't think you need more than like a month or 2 months to actually see some little signs or some red flags, because usually, like I said, they say a lot of things. They seem very promising. Their actions really don't match their words. Just like how she says, this girl, she said that in the beginning it was all loving and like he was covering her in compliments and all. And shortly after a while, his compliments started to become violent in a means that it would make her doubting herself. So this is like an example for a sign that you might be able to see. And of course, it's not really easy because in the beginning, narcissistic man, what he's gonna do, he's gonna love bomb you. He's gonna love bomb you so well that you will not see it coming. Why? He's gonna shower you in compliments. He's gonna shower you in like this feeling that you were being seen, that you're being loved, because they know exactly what they like to be done to themselves as well. But the moment they see that they get you hooked up into their trap, they drop you. So when this happens, it's like they drop you from that high mountain of love and compliments and reassurance and beautiful actions, and they drop you. And your cortisol levels are going higher than that mountain, which is the reason that can make you addicted to a narcissistic man behavior, even though it is abusive. Because after you've been receiving all of that love, bombing, all of those compliments, all of that attention, and all of a sudden you don't have it anymore, you're gonna fall into this thing that you're gonna have to get it again. So it's gonna be like you working for those things that you used to have before from them for free. And that's their game. When they have you at the place where you have to fight for the attention that you used to have before from them, you will put up with whatever bullshit they will give you. And the best way for you to not let that happen, it's in the moment where you're being dropped, like I mentioned. Don't try to get those things from them again. Try to go in your bubble. Remember who the fuck you are, Remember who you were before this. And revalue yourself based on your perspective, not based on those feelings that they used to give you. Because you were whole before you met this person as well. And I want to really touch this because it's so important, and I've been actually talking about it in my Instagram reels, but I'm going to bring it up here as well. Did you know that the most important thing that's going to influence your love life as a woman, it's your father figure? Even for men as well. I'm going to get there too. And to me, this was very hard to understand in my early 20s, because let's be honest, growing up without a father figure can feel like navigating a maze with no map. The impact of having or not having a father echoes through every aspect of our lives. For girls, for boys, it shapes who we become and how we see the world, really. And now I'm going to talk about the impact it has on women. First one, it's this sense of security and self-worth, because a father presence often serves us as like an anchor, It's that silent assurance that you are loved, that you are important. For us, for women, this sense of security translates into self-worth. Knowing you're valued by the first man in your life can really set the stage for everything that follows. And as a cherry on top, I have a stepfather as well that came in my life when I was 8 years old, 3 years after my real dad abandoned me. And he was a narcissistic man. So it was like double trouble. It was not enough that I've been abandoned by my real father. I needed my stepfather to come in the game and to give me some more trauma. But yeah, anyway, I'm not blaming my past. I'm actually grateful for all of these lessons now. It got me into the place that I am today, and it made me this woman that I am today, and I am proud of who I am today. I don't want to make this about me, but you know what's really beautiful about this whole experience that I've been through with my fathers is that because I've been able to outgrow this trauma that I've been in my childhood with both of my fathers, it came to a point that feel like I helped my stepfather, that was the narcissistic man, to outgrow his narcissistic behavior as well. He's not that narcissistic anymore. He's a loving father now. He's not abusing me or my mom emotionally anymore. I don't know. He really changed. And I really, really believe this is because of the impact that I had on it as well. Maybe I'm going to make a full episode about this if you guys really want to hear about it. But now I'm going to go with the second impact that the father figure has on a woman's life. Choosing the right partner, for example. Here's the tricky part. Without the father figure, many women struggle to navigate relationships. It's like trying to solve a puzzle without all the pieces. The absence of a positive male role model means figuring out what respect and kindness looks like. And it can be a shot in the dark, you know. Now another one, it's emotional support. Fathers offer a unique brand of emotional support, different from mothers. It's like a blend of strength and gentleness that helps us women to understand and express emotions healthy. This support is crucial for learning how to interact with men in a balanced way. Case example, the missing piece. Imagine a woman growing up without a father. She meets a man who shows her a bit of attention. Maybe he opens a door for her, compliments her occasionally. To her, these gestures might seem monumental because she's never experienced such acts of kindness from a male figure. And I've been there. This can lead her falling in love easily, mistaking minimal efforts for grand gestures. Now, picture this woman getting into a relationship without fully understanding what she should expect from a partner. If things progress and she ends up pregnant, let's say, I hope not, the reality hits hard. She might realize too late that she didn't choose wisely because she was filling the void left by her absent father. And this missing piece can significantly impact our lives, making our journey more challenging as we navigate motherhood and relationships without the foundational support that we needed. Or if you're there, you know what I mean? Don't get there. That's what I mean. Listen to my podcast. And also it has a huge impact on males, like the father figure. For example, for males, it's a bit different. It's like role model and guidance. Like for male, fathers often symbolize the path to becoming a man. They're the blueprint for values, discipline, and responsibility. Without this guidance, men might feel like they're piecing together their identity from scratch. It impacts their behavioral development as well. Having a father figure helps shape behavior for them. Fathers teach respect, empathy, and emotional management traits that are vital for becoming a well-being, rounded individual. Without this influence, men might struggle to find their footing. It can also affect their social skills. Engaging in activities with their fathers helps men learn social dynamics. It's through these interactions really that they build confidence and communication skills. Missing out on this can leave a gap that's hard to fill for a man. Case example, facing challenges alone, facing life's hurdles without a guide. Men without fathers often face challenges solo, lacking the direction needed to navigate obstacles. This can lead to struggles with self-discipline and positive decision-making. So, conclusion, building a healthy future is very important. Growing up without the father figure, I know, it's tough. No sugarcoating it at all. But there's the silver lining. You have the power to shape your future, my dear. Seek positive role models. Surround yourself with mentors, with teachers or coaches who can help offer guidance and support. Don't forget that I'm always here for you if you're looking for a coach. I'm willing to help you no matter what. And especially because I've been through this. So probably I would be good guidance. But of course, only if you feel comfortable. But if you don't have a support system, reach out to someone. Doesn't have to be me. But it is really important to surround yourself with support and guidance. You just have to find them. Positive influences are always out there. Focus on personal growth, build your self-esteem and recognize your worth. Engage in activities that boost your confidence and your skills. Grow into your best self. And a very beautiful piece of advice that I really thought about giving when I made this episode notes, it's right here. Create your own family values. When it's time to build your own family, even though it may not be now, but it's important for you to start now already. Lay down values that promote love, respect, and support. You have the chance to create a nurturing environment for your children in the future, if you ever want to have some. But either way, it is very important to create your own family values. Growing up without a father figure can be a rocky road, but it also forces resilience. Seek positive influences, focus on personal development, and you lay the groundwork for a strong, healthy family in the future. The past may shape us, but it does not define us. And this is what I'm keep repeating to my clients. Your story is yours to write. And I am definitely going to be here for you if you go through narcissistic abuse. Don't hesitate to DM me on Instagram or email me. It doesn't matter. I'm here for you. And if you want to share your story as well in the podcast regarding whatever subject, because I get like a lot of requests onto specific topics, don't hesitate to ask me about it, because this podcast, it's not just about me. It's about all of us. So if you want your story to be heard and you want to get out of a situation, maybe this could be the first step into it. So I guess this concludes today's episode. I'm really glad that we spoke about this topic. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention this. This girl, I won't mention her name, that shared her story in our podcast episode today. She texted me a couple of weeks or a month ago on Instagram, just because I don't remember exactly the topic, but we resonated onto something, and she told me that I deserve all the support regarding my podcast and stuff. I have to mention that she didn't remember it at the time she texted me, or even me at the time that I even read her story about the narcissistic abuse. But we used to play together in our childhood. Like, we used to play around in the park, I don't know, probably for like 5 years in a row or something like that. And when I realized, I was like, oh my God, life, it's not a coincidence. Nothing, it's a coincidence. How, after, I don't know, more than 15 years, life connected us like that, and also with a similar story. Isn't that crazy? And I wanted to say, because I'm pretty sure you're going to be listening, I am very proud of you for having the courage to share this story, because it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that someone dared to try to jungle up with a woman like you. Don't forget your value, my dear. Don't ever doubt yourself again. For nobody, not even for yourself, not to mention a man. Never. You are so strong, and I honestly admire you for having the power to get out of this situation, and for even having the courage to reach out to people, and for even having the courage to go to therapy, and especially to share your story. Like, this is amazing. You're doing an amazing job. You are probably inspiring more women than you could ever imagine, and now even more. So this concludes today's episode. I love all of you. I wish you a great week, and don't forget to give a feedback. Don't forget to give a 5-star review on Spotify, and give me a follow on Instagram. I love you. Bye bye.